Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1, and this is another video for the Minuteman series. This is building a bunker, building a fighting position. Right now is the time to build on your property. If you live there, or that's your permanent residence, or you have a bug out piece of property, right now is the time to start building. It takes a lot of time. This position here, I probably have 30 to 40 hours into it. I haven't really been keeping track that accurate. Next one I do, I will definitely keep track. This one is not even close to being done, but I wanted to show you before I do some other steps, because when I do them, then you won't be able to see what I've done totally. Every position that you build needs to have a specific purpose. What is the priority purpose of that? What is the secondary importance of that position? So primary sector of fire and then secondary sector of fire, but have a legitimate reason why you're going to build it, and then build the position to fit the need. This one is designed sort of like a final protective fire line down this fence line. So that is the purpose of it. You've seen the hole very quickly. One time I showed you the hole, but I've done a lot more on it. Basically what we have here is that was a child's playground set, like some type of climbing bars. And what I did was I salvaged some metal, heavy duty, very heavy duty commercial. I dug it out. In the front, I will bring the dirt totally up to the top of the block, and then another row of sandbags for sure there, and maybe one more on top of that. I'm using some blocks that I salvaged. I filled the blocks with gravel. Some have dirt in it, most of them have gravel in it. And then in the blocks, not every cell, but at least every block, I pounded probably a 4.5 foot piece of heavy duty metal through the cells and into the ground, and then I filled them with gravel. It's not as good as concrete for sure, but it was very cheap and affordable. It was called salvage. Use what I had. Eventually I will be coming out with this wall here, and on the back side I'm going to be coming out 3 feet right there, and then come straight down here. The purpose of this is I have a blind spot that direction. I have another position to take care of that direction, but I always want at least 2 positions to be able to fire on any one point that you're trying to protect. Get some overlapping fields of fire going. What I did was I actually screwed this down and wired it down to the frame, so it's definitely secured to the frame. Plus, with all the sandbags on, it will not go anywhere. Anywhere there was an existing little hole from where they used it before as roofing, I patched it so it wouldn't leak, and I'll put a patch over these. Just got a couple left. I wanted to show you what I use. Just a regular roofing screw. I had to pre-drill through here and then into the actual frame itself, because the frame was heavy duty and I couldn't get through with a self-tapping screw. What I also used was granite. I got a bunch of granite pieces, and I broke it up so I could transport it easier, and then I just put it in here. So I actually have granite in here. It's not as pretty because the pretty side I put down because it was slicker. The back of it is not polished, so it's not as slick. So that's what I have in here is granite, and then I have a bunch of gravel around the outside and fill in the cracks. So if I do get a little bit of water in here, it's going to seep into those gravel areas and keep everything dry. What I have here is actually 2 layers of block. 1 layer there, some dirt, and then 2 layers in the front. So it's very, the front is probably designed, it would withstand a 50 cal. I don't want to try that, but then what I did, 4-gallon bucket works great for a stool, so you can sit on it and watch either way. Put some cat blocks right there, just to make it a little bit neater. So basically you can sit in here and watch out that way. I also put one other additional hole right there, so I can get a little higher, especially if I'm in the bucket. I can look out that way. So there's plenty of room for 2 people. Sitting on the bucket, you can watch both ways pretty easily. I'm going to go ahead and clean it a little bit more. Everything's all wet still. Inside, I just got the top on, it's very dry, because what I did was I put enough of the overhang where it drips out that way. There is an angle to it, so everything runs this way and then drips down this way, so it doesn't have to drip inside. I like the granite on the floor better than just gravel, because gravel sometimes make a little bit of noise. So the granite definitely helps. Plus, it's very easy to clean. Just take a little small broom, sweep it if it gets dirty. So I will continue sandbagging. Being an arch, this thing is incredibly strong. If I'm worried about anything, what I'll do is I'll put a small 4x4 piece here, going up here, and on the other side. And I'll just have to see how it is. But it's very strong being an arch. This is what it looks like from this side. I'm gonna, right there, gonna bring in some more dirt and put dirt here and then pile leaves on it. I will then cover the whole top, going all the way over to there with sandbags. Then I have 2 big camo nettings. I'll camo it really well. I will then take leaves. I have a pile of leaves saved for this purpose. I will cover it with leaves, and it will be very much camouflaged in. I wanted to show it to you now because when I do get it all camouflaged, you really won't be able to see what I've done. This is going to be a great fighting position. You can stay inside, you can stay comfortable when it's pouring down rain, if it's snowing. The whole key is being comfortable. Inside here, I'm not going to go over too much in detail what I'll store in here, but I'll store equipment and things I'm going to need. It will definitely have a field phone. This is a metal roof, so I'm going to use a magnet mount, antenna mount right there, and run it up, so I'll have good comms. I don't want to have bad comms because of the metal roof, but there'll be a permanent antenna on here, just one of those little car antennas, 18 inches, so I should have excellent reception in here. Working on the fence, and I will do a separate video on the fence, what I'm trying to accomplish with the fence. Salvage is the #1 key here. You know, not a lot of money went into that. Sandbags were all salvaged. So most of the stuff was salvaged. Probably won't have 10, 20 bucks in this whole thing when it's said and done. There is some work, but you know what? This is much better than having a gym membership, because I'm doing something, I'm learning. I loved being in the infantry. Light infantry, we always went out to the field, and some days we'd go out for 30 days and just dig a defense. I loved it, you know. They called me Gopher. The defenses I did was just unbelievable because I enjoy digging in the dirt. I enjoy working on defense. So doing it now, I love it. This is not work to me. This is fun. When you do a position, it's never done. You're always, always, always improving it. As I told you, I'm going to add on to the side, and there'll be always something to do. You know, next, in a real situation, you dig a slit trench, right, going through there, or a crawl trench, a crawl trench. So if this position's under fire, you can get into a crawl trench. Eventually that crawl trench will turn into, you know, a trench you can almost walk in it. So you're never, absolutely never done with a fighting position. This position can always use more sandbags, better camouflage, all kinds of improvements to tie this position in with the other. So this position I'm going to get done, and I'll show you it when it's completed, at least with the camouflage on and the center section all ready to go. Challenge you, if you got property right now, don't put it off. This has taken me a long time to do. It's taken a lot of calories. Working a few hours burns a lot of calories when you're doing manual labor. And remember, if you got a position in the woods, you have to get your stuff there. If it's an EMP and it takes out all your vehicles, and you were counting on some type of vehicle to bring in sandbags or logs or blocks to your fighting position to build, and you lose that, that means you're going to have to tote everything by hand or a wheelbarrow. So I challenge you now, do it right now when you got the hardware store, when you got Lowe's and Home Depot and all those places where if you're missing a few things, you can easily go and buy them. If you have woods, you can find enough things just to improvise, but it's nice to have other things, sandbags, concrete blocks, any old type of metal roofing to keep the water off you. So this one in the Minute Maid series is building a fighting position. Your chances of surviving a conflict inside this is so much better than if you didn't have it built and you were just on your perimeter fencing trying to protect your perimeter fencing and protect your retreat. This is a combat multiplier. This, along with everything else I'm doing on this side of the property, 1, 2, 3 guys on this side of the property can probably withstand 10 or 15 guys attacking it for sure. But it's combat multipliers, and this is definitely a combat multiplier. Thanks for watching.